Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Thank you. Sensu. It's for you. Sensu. The Sensu Show. Sensu. Take a look. It's for you. It's from your point of view. The Sensu.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to the Sensu Show. Another week, and I hope you're tuning in. Courtesy of PHLV Radio. They are Las Vegas. Well, I always like to do that. Well, today, as you can see, we're in India. Because as you know, every week we're going to be traveling, or not traveling really, but we're going to be visiting different countries every week. And I hope you enjoyed our last show when I was in China, with Miss Linda. So it was really interesting conversation. But tonight I also have an interesting conversation with with our guest tonight. I'm so excited to meet her. Actually, she's so positive and she's so inspiring. And you'll see later when you meet her. But right now, let's talk about the country of India. It's really, I like their outfits though. I like their clothes. Someone really gave this to me. And it's really from India, that's why I'm so proud of it. And okay, now we would talk about India. It would be a lifetime to see all India, a nation of 1.4 billion inhabitants. Good Lord, billion. Definitely birth control doesn't work in that country. You can learn to navigate the richness of the country with its snow-capped peaks and velvety beaches to its historic, because every time we talk about India, we only talk about kind of like, not a lot of water kind of thing, but it is, as you have, and of course we talk about the Bengal tigers and in the forest, they're really famous in that, about animals, and they really respect tigers, and they really honor like the elephants. That's very, very, we have to really respect for that. Okay, and then also, English, they do speak English in India, so you have no problem, about going to the country because they do speak English. I think 50% of the population, they really speak English. And as a matter of fact, I think they have a little accent, like the British accent. And also, if you travel in northern India, you can greet people by saying namaste. And then I bow to you with your hands together in front of your chest. Similarly, when meeting Muslims in North India, you can say Salam alaikum, something like that. Peace be with you. Salam alaikum. I hope I pronounce it. Forgive me. Okay, the correct response is alaikum salam. Most of the time, it's the efforts that welcome over pronunciation, so don't be shy. If you make a mistake, people understand you're a tourist. And the good thing about India, people are so nice and very understanding. India is a diverse country, you guys. There are many religions, each with its own dietary rules. For example, Muslims avoid pork. Oh, I don't know. That's why I can't be a Muslim. Because, I'm from the Philippines, so I have to eat pork. As you know. Many Hindus avoid beef, and some Hindus and Buddhists are vegetarian or vegan. And also, I can't be a Buddhist because I'm not vegetarian. Many Jains are vegetarians who avoid certain vegetables, most notably onions, garlic, and potatoes. So, as I noticed, I know I have a lot of friends also from India, and primarily they do have a lot of vegetarian cuisine, And when I go to the restaurant, I think chicken and lamb is pretty much, popular over there. And so the top order, oh yeah, when you go to India, please. I mean, even when I go to the Philippines, their water is not really compatible as being a tourist. because our system is not adjust to it. So don't use the tap water. So this is just a warning, you guys. Okay, I think you know it by now. Okay, and when standing in front of the erotic sculptures at uh, Khajuraho, which is the passion and curiosity as this famous temple built nearly in 1,000 years ago. And it's about Kama Sutra, I think that's part of it. And you know how they talk about Kama Sutra. But we're not going to get into that because it's a long story. And there's other locations that you can really visit in India. You can take an you can visit the abandoned ghost town of Kudhara, feel the presence of the divine at the Golden Temple in Armi- no, Amritsar, cruise the Kerala backwaters, visit the ancient monasteries of Ladakh, spend a day at Raghuradpur Art and Crafts Village in the temple town of Puri, and explore the ruins of Hampi. Hampi, I think is how you pronounce it. Cruising the Suwari River and narrow canals bordered by mangroves at dawn in Goa, and so and so on. There's so many beautiful sceneries and beaches and everything in India. So check it out, you guys. And I can show you some. There's two dishes that I got to taste it when I went to the Indian restaurant. Chicken biryani. It has a basmati rice and it's really good. If you get it from a very a very good Indian restaurant, and also the chicken samosa. That's one of my favorite. Also, some of them kind of spicy, very spicy, but just ask them the one that's not too spicy. So that's all I can talk about India, and I can't wait to visit the country. So if you're thinking about visiting any countries, check out India, you guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. So cheers, India. Mm, mm. And because I talk to a lot of my Indian friends also, and they're really so proud of their country, and they tell me that, hey, Sanso, if you go to India, please let me know, and I give you a lot of tour. So now that we talked about India, let me introduce to you our guest tonight. But first, I'm going to show you a video and about our guest. So check it out.
Meet Tara Sri Krishnan, Vice President of the Santa Clara County Board of Education. She's funded our schools with early learning programs and new technology to prepare our kids for jobs of the future. Now she's running for California State Assembly to make our neighborhoods safe and expand healthcare services for seniors and families. Tara won't waste taxpayer dollars and will bring accountability back to Sacramento. Tara Sri Krishnan, a future we can believe in.
Wow. So you know who my guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce her, she's the county school board member, state legislative director, climate nonprofit founder, cancer survivor, lifelong fighter. Please help me welcome Miss Tara Sri Krishnan. Hi, Tara. How you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so honored to have you tonight. And there's so many things we can talk about because I'm so proud of you, being so active in your community. And first of all, when I read about your bio, you talk about you're a daughter of an immigrant. So your family is from where?
My family's from India, so perfect timing to be here
I know.
as we celebrate.
Talk about it. We didn't even talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
my family back in India lives in Kerala. It's the very southern tip of India, and known for its beautiful backwaters. And it's, a progressive thinking area, very feminist too, which I love about Kerala. And
Mm.
what's been exciting is I've been very much embraced by the Malayali community, as we're known as, that lives here in the district and here in the Bay Area. So yeah, definitely proud of where I come.
Part of your heritage. Were you born and raised in India?
No, I was born and raised in America, have lived in the assembly district I'm running for since I was 5 years old. But have
Do you still speak the language?
No, I only speak English. I'm second gen. Speaking languages, uh, Malayalam, which is the mother tongue of Kerala, but I'm, very second gen, very American, only speak English. They tried to teach my older brother an Indian language, and it just
Mhm.
so for me
It's hard.
it's hard, yeah. Um, on the school board now, I'm promoting a lot of programs around language, including the Hindi language.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and hopefully give some students some opportunities I didn't have.
oh, that's great. So it's a perfect thing. So being in education, and I said I read part of your bio, and you've been in Santa Clara County. You live in Santa Clara County for a long time, right? So
Mhm.
you're really considered Californian.
Yeah, Santa Clara County is the heart of the Bay Area, or
Mhm.
Silicon Valley, as we're known as, South Bay. And
Mhm.
went to our public schools K through 12 in Santa Clara County. Now I serve on the county school board. I'm the daughter of a local school librarian that worked in our schools.
Oh,
So, that's sort of how I got started in public service, was through my mom. In my early years, I was voluntold, as I like to joke about. But definitely got my bug for public service from her, and she's my role model for sure.
oh. So okay, growing up, is that always been your dream to be in serving the community or very active in the community, or you were shy and
Very
really that yeah, it just started when you're high school or
I
what?
was a very shy kid throughout high school, but I did a lot of volunteering. But it wasn't until college and after college that, I started to think of public service more as sort of a full-time career,
Hmm.
say.
Wow.
And so there are a few different life experiences I had that sort of bubbled up my passion to serve and get politically engaged.
Hmm.
Was being I am a cancer survivor.
Oh,
I overcame at a young age. Uh,
wow.
and also just seeing, the world around me. I went to a local women's college and got a bit involved with the FemDems over there, which stands for the Feminist Democrats. My first selection was becoming a Democratic National Convention delegate, or DNC delegate. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and so then I just started getting very engaged on campaigns. It became my full-time life. So since then, I've really devoted myself to service.
So when you say you were campaigning for who? Who was your candidate in the
So,
beginning?
yeah, one of the first candidates I campaigned for was our first female presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton. So Hillary, yeah. And that was really exciting. We made history as
Yeah.
nominating our first female
Yes.
nominee for a major party in the country. And now this year, I'm hopeful we will make history finally with our
Yes.
female president, our first
Yeah.
American,
It,
first Black female president. So it's a very exciting election year.
it is. It is. So when you thought about it, did you even imagine that we're gonna have the very first Black American Asian, you know, president in this country and a female president?
Yeah.
What you thought about it? What are your thoughts?
It's so meaningful to me. As someone who didn't even know or think about running for office and now higher office, um,
Mm-hmm.
the ballot with Vice President Kamala Harris as our next president,
Yes.
historic moment. It means the world to me, and as I mentioned before, as the daughter of two immigrants from India, I think it's more than even they thought would be possible when they came to this country and to this district. So it's very meaningful. I wear it with a lot of pride, but also a sense of purpose. We have to carry the torch forward with integrity and really to serve people.
Yes, you're right about that because with her position, it's not easy, especially when you're breaking that boundary and she's trying to open up that door, not just for men, but for the women, to have that position and to be respected and to be welcome, that you can have that position being a woman. I mean, we came a long way in this country. Being a woman, we've come a long way. From 1960s that we were able to vote, and then now that we'll be able to have a woman president. So I'm really proud to being me, also being a Jamaican. I'm part Jamaican, so she got that little of mine. so so let's talk about. Oh, go ahead, my dear.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, she's an amazing role model for so many
Yes.
women and men. And I think we need those role models to look up to. So it'll make an incredible difference.
Yes, and for the young girls out there that they think that they can't go farther than being, an admin or being just in the lower level, they can reach all the way to the top. And a lifelong resident of district, a member, well, you're elected member of the Santa Clara County Board of Education. What can you say something about our education here in the U.S.? I mean, I know we have a long way to go. A lot of students really are I don't know, maybe just this is my observation that a lot of high school students really still can't read. Um, that's one of the biggest problem, isn't it, in
Yeah,
this country?
have an incredible academic achievement gap, opportunity
Mhm.
gap uh,
Yes.
in our country. In Santa Clara County, we have deep divides as well. And so one of our focus areas on the County Board of Education has been closing our academic achievement gap. And
Mm-hmm.
study tells you that to do that and to get to the heart of the issue is to address and strengthen early learning, which has been our focus, to give students the best start in life, to give them a high quality early learning. And so we've been focused on facilities, we've been focused on childcare, we've been focused on strengthening the pipeline in our education workforce when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to learning and rolling out in an equitable way universal preschool across the state of California. So, I'm proud of the work we've done, and we have much work ahead of us as well. And so those are some of my priorities in education, and obviously, not only as a um, a product of public education myself, um,
Mm-hmm.
the daughter of a school employee. Uh, I'm proud to, carry on my mother's legacy in public education.
It is. It is good to have family that really works in education to understand what's the problem is, because sometimes when you're not active in that department, you really don't understand how to solve it. It's hard to understand how to solve the problem because it is a big problem. We're so behind compared to other countries when it comes to education. Educating our young generation. But how can you change it though, besides all the programs that we have now with all the school shootings and mass shootings? How can tell these children, how to avoid it or to prevent it?
Yeah,
How
well,
can you?
speaking of my mother, my mom is proudly a member of Moms Demand Action, and San Jose Moms Demand Action, which you may know, is focused on preventing youth gun violence and
Mm-hmm,
mass shootings at schools
mm-hmm,
and schools. So I'm so proud to have partnered with her and Moms Demand Action on efforts to address youth gun violence, uh, prevent violence at our school campuses on my board. So we've looked at educating and expanding information around safe storage. When I
Mm-hmm.
the County Board of Supervisors, I was a chief of staff, and our office led passing the county's first safe storage ordinance,
Wow.
that firearms were locked away safely, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other priorities that I have been working on and want to work on at the state are strengthening red flag laws,
Mm-hmm.
sure we are cracking down on assault weapons, making sure they're out of the hands of folks that should not be owning those types of weapons, promoting gun buyback programs like we've done at the county, promoting safe storage, and so much more. So in my race for state assembly, I'm not only a Moms Demand Action gun sense candidate, I'm also, I've earned the sole endorsement of every town for gun safety that endorses candidates that have been actively engaged in this movement. And so there's more work ahead, in terms of the
Yes.
um, we've looked at gun violence specifically, but also what are some of the triggers, right? How do we
Mm-hmm.
from becoming a violent situation? So, in
Yes.
that regard, we've launched 20 health and wellness centers on school sites, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is a resource I wish I had when I was growing up in our local schools, but I'm glad to work on expanding those programs for the next generation now. We've worked on, those centers have seen 10,000 student visits a year.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Other health programs, we've cracked down on fentanyl and fentanyl abuse prevention, and getting opioid antagonists across all of our school sites, and those programs have saved lives when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to our fentanyl crisis. And so those are some of the other initiatives we've worked on when it comes to student wellness to prevent violence, to make our campuses safer. And in each of these programs, we've infused the student voice.
Mm-hmm.
We student wellness advisory groups. Each of our wellness centers have a student body guiding those services.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a holistic approach when it comes to safety on school campuses.
Yes, but besides in school about the safety and gun violence, when you become a state assembly, that also covers the whole entire state, isn't it? So how can you expand those programs
Yeah.
for adults, not just for kids?
Well, I'd want to do just that. I'd want to expand some of the, groundbreaking initiatives we've been
Mm-hmm.
working at the county board and at the,
Mm-hmm.
including bringing safe storage statewide, which we don't yet have.
Yeah.
Strengthening our red flag laws,
Mm-hmm.
gun buyback, cracking down on assault weapons,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that there's adequate mental health support for folks
Mm-hmm.
ages, making sure we strengthen our community health clinics,
Yes.
and health providers and mental health providers. So those are some of the initiatives that, I'd want to work on. And in my, if I could wave a magic wand, every school site would have access to definitely.
You might need to do that. You might need to get a school. Because sometimes, I hope you'll be able to accomplish all those things. The fact that there's two different parties, and the Democratic Party, they are really pushing all those laws, but the other side, but they're very into guns, into NRA kind of thing. So it's hard for them to adopt about gun control and all those initiatives that you just mentioned. I think that's the hardest part, because the Democratic Party is still trying to fight those, legislative bills that we could pass. But when you have two parties that are just not working together, so how can you work with the Republicans to make that happen?
I love the bills that I get to work on that are bipartisan, and the fentanyl bill I referenced to get that I was able to work on under Senator Cortese, SB
Hmm.
to get opioid antagonists on school campuses, to get staff trained on how to use Narcan. That was
Mm-hmm.
partisan, which was amazing. But in California, we're really unique. The Republican Party is a super minority in the legislature, so really have an excuse when it comes to passing Democratic policies because
Yes.
have a majority. So certainly there are disagreements within the party.
Mm-hmm.
So that usually is the toughest fight, I would say, in Sacramento. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, as
So,
someone
mhm.
in my current day job, I'm a legislative director in the state Senate. So I work on passing these policies and negotiating and fighting tough fights and working bills through the legislature. So it's often the work I'm doing, and I find myself in the middle of these debates. So.
I know it's not easy that people think that you can just put a bill and everybody will agree upon. There's so many, so everybody have their own opinions, and I just hope that even though you disagree with each other, but at least there's got to be a unity or something that you can work together. And so I know that in schools, bullying is one of the problems, and even not just in school but anywhere, and that's how I think it starts with all these mental issues and stuff like that. So how can you help some of this bullying situation that's happening in a lot of school, you know, in schools?
Yeah, well, that gets to a lot of the groundbreaking work we've been doing at the County Office of Education. And I really do think that our office is a leader in the state when it comes to student mental health. Everything
Mm-hmm.
from making referrals easier to school billing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned, we've launched health and wellness programs. We've launched a first of its kind school health clinic. We're the first county
Mm-hmm.
fed in the state to do that. And uh, um, we've launched student voice across these programs. So I would encourage folks to look at not only our student wellness advisory group known as SWAG, but
Mm-hmm.
also our Hecka Well campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It is run by students, led by students around health and wellness. So, um, you know, we have to sort of look at these root
Yes.
causes of really helping those students that are being bullied, but trying to prevent bullying
Mhm.
through social wellness. So we've really led in those efforts.
So when you become a state assembly, what's the next move?
Um, and I've already been working to lobby, looking at and serving the whole child through,
Oh.
yeah, through making sure schools are centers for communities, and whether it be through launching services on school sites,
Mm-hmm.
and investing in partnerships, schools and community partnerships.
Uh-huh.
So, one of the biggest investments was the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative from the
Mm-hmm.
office to invest in tens of millions of dollars in school wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd want to continue to support those efforts to make sure it's done in a sustainable way so students can have access to these services on school sites, counseling, one-on-one group, or just finding a place to settle down for a bit or relax and take a break from their school day. So what I'd want to champion in terms of mental health. In a larger scale, looking outside of just our youth, um,
Uh-huh.
uh, taking on insurance providers to make sure that
Mm.
folks are being provided adequate treatment,
Yeah.
mental health, addiction.
Yes.
I'm sure, we hear so many stories around
Yes.
treatment denials and treatment being
Mm-hmm.
early, which is just unacceptable.
Yes. It is unacceptable. Oh my God, my dear. I'm so proud of you. Really, I know your parents so proud of you, of what you accomplished so far, and I can't wait for you to become a state assembly. But before that, let's take a little break, and after we come back, we'll talk some more about some of your, admirations besides state assembly or everybody. Are you single or we'll talk about it when we come back. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Po, si Orlino de la Cruz ay kapitan po ng Patal Pinto sa Pinatubo. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa Aita Tribe Foundation. Nagpapasalamat po ako uli sa mga bigay niyo po. Dito po ay lumiwanag na po ang namin po, community namin po. Nuulit ko lang po, nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo po. Ito po. Ay, mas pasalamat kami po sa nagtutulong sa amin po sa Aita Foundation po. Ngayon lang po kami ng ilaw na maliwanag po dito sa Patal Pinto po. Thank you po.
Ito po yung mga kasama namin, nag-install ng solar dito sa sitio. Dayday. Ayan si Conchal. Ayan si Joseph. Si Goryo. Si Commander Aka. Ito si Kapitan. Ayan si Pangkok. Ayan si Ate Parina. Ayan ang cooker namin, no, si Ate Parina. Ayan, no. Dito kami sa Sitio Dayday. Ayan, no. Dayday pala yung Sitio Dayday. Ayan. Ayan, no.
Mamili-pili ka ba?
Ayan sila. Nandito kami ngayon. Nagluluto. Ayan, no. Ayan yung asawa ni Kap. Ayan sila. Ayan yung mga yan. Maliwanag na sa labas. Good morning everybody. Nandito po kami ngayon sa Sitio Dayday. Nag-install ng solar panel. Ayan sila, oh. Ayan si Kagawad. Menus ng Sitio Dayday. Ayan si Pangkok. Ayun. Mga bahay dito.
Bilala ko yata.
Dito po kami natulog. Super lamig. Ayun po yung pinatubo, yung may pag.
everything. Is that easier when you're single, or it doesn't really matter? Single or double or.
I understand the privilege I have of I I don't have currently I don't have folks that I don't have children, or my parents are not yet at the age where sort of need me to step in. So I completely understand my privilege in terms of me being able to take all of this
Mhm.
on and have public service as my full-time job. I'm in a really privileged position. My parents, I'm a daughter of two immigrants, as we had mentioned, and they did not have the same privileges I had. I still lot, serve in this capacity. Um, and so, but yes, I am single, and
And this is a good platform to say hi, everybody. and but you know what? A lot of people are watching us right now, my online family and friends. Um, what can you say to inspire a lot of young generation out there to follow your footsteps, or to inspire them? What could you tell our younger generation?
yeah, I mean, I would tell our younger generation to not be afraid to engage in their local community, in efforts that are big or small. With the young people I work with, a lot of the existential issues we're going through, it can be a lot to take on. And so, sometimes, especially with young people, they're thinking so big that I like to remind them that, all change starts local, right? It starts small, right? It's about chipping away and moving the needle,
Yeah.
and little by little, you'll create bigger and bigger change.
Yeah.
So to the young people watching, I'd say, don't be afraid to take on something small, uh,
Mhm.
because that is what really makes a difference in the end.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice. That was really nice. That's what I do this podcast because I like to talk about, what inspires a lot of young people, because that's what they need right now, inspiration. Someone they can look at and say, okay, I can do this, and this is the person that could help me out. And for you, the being active in the community and inspiring a lot of generation, I salute you. I really do. And because it's not easy, to tackle all these problems that you just mentioned about energy and education and all that, and dealing with different parties and different attitude. Not just the parties, but the attitude, and the negotiation. It's not easy nowadays. But so, are your parents still here in the U.S., or are they in
No,
India?
they're still in the States. I have some family here in the States. Most of my family's here in the States now, although I have some family back in India, so we do visit. Um, and mom is retired. Dad just doesn't want to retire, I think.
I don't blame
But
him.
both have been super supportive, both uh, just personally and also supportive in me pursuing running for office and being in politics and being one of the few South Asian women and Indian American women that's involved locally in elected office here in Santa Clara.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. What do you? I mean, I just want to have a little opinion about the discrimination that's happening between in the Asian communities. The racism that's happening lately. What do you? What can you say about that? How can you change that narrative, really? Because
Absolutely.
it's very hurtful.
It's trickled down to my campaign. It's trickled down locally.
Mhm.
There's a lot of hate. Uh, I've faced discrimination both in my professional work experience in this campaign too. it exists even within certain communities. There's
Yeah.
going back and forth. So
How can you how can you how can you change that language? It's not
well,
easy.
I truly think it's about engaging with one another. It's about keeping an open door, talking,
Yeah.
reaching. Um, in my campaign, I've tried to reach out to every community I can and every single member of every community I can. Um, and certainly, I've seen my fair share of racism and racist comments.
Mhm.
Have been
It's
thrown.
sad though. It's really sad.
Yeah, it is very sad, even in such a diverse area like this district where we're a majority minority district, right? But I think it's just about making sure that
I think it's more education about culture. Because this is supposed to be a diverse state, a very diverse state, but you
that
can still feel the racism, which is pretty sad.
yeah, it is pretty sad. And some of the comments that have been made to me have been pretty sad, but Um, I do think that um, at large and by far, this community is a very welcoming, diverse,
Mhm.
progressive community. And I like to remember that and that. And um, but I think you're right. It's to break down some of the uh, racism, discrimination that still exists. It's about being welcoming towards one another.
Yes, and like you, that will make a change, and for like a person like you, that will introduce that racism is there's no place in this country. It should be no place in this country. I mean, the United States is becoming to be a United Nation, whether they like it or not. All races in this country. For someone to think that this is just a one race, it's not a one race. This is everybody's race. Everyone is here, and we should welcome everyone. And I know it's still, but it starts from households and how we educate our children. It starts from the parents actually, because if the parents have one-sided concept of what race is all about, and they pass it on to their children, and that's why but it's got to stop. It's got to stop. But one I think one they call it one village at a time. So if you can change one community to open up their minds, I think we can expand it and just go on and on and on and on. And I really hope that your journey that will go a long way, not just being a state assembly. You never know, girl. You might be the vice president, just go on and on and on. You got to start somewhere, right? Yeah, you're gonna be the first female mayor of California, or first, governor, how do you call it, governess in California. I mean, we got to start somewhere, and I just wanna. I mean, by just watching you, I know you went through a lot health wise, and I don't want to touch that part because being a cancer survivor is not easy, and I've known a lot of my friends too that were cancer survivor, and talk about it. It's not something that we can play, or we can joke, because it's a serious way, and
Right. It's
that's why you're very active when it comes to health, education, and all that,
yeah,
right?
it's completely strengthened my resolve to fight for affordable universal health care, uh,
Yes.
because it's truly the difference between life and death. I know that firsthand. When
Mhm.
I was going through that diagnosis, I initially was misdiagnosed as um,
Mm.
in our healthcare system, which is something that, just
Wow.
really happens to women of color.
Mhm.
But, eventually I overcame that and um,
Wow.
that's part of the reason why I devoted myself to service. At California, we do not invest enough in healthcare. Um, it's a serious, uh, it's a serious issue. Leave so many people in bad positions, and it leads to illness, it leads to death. And so, I support universal health care for every individual in California. Um, and so I'm fighting to hopefully reach there. And in my race,
Mhm.
endorsed by physicians, by the California Nurses Association, by healthcare workers, by SEIU. And so my brother's a doctor himself, and he's probably my biggest champion. So it's
Wow.
healthcare is my top priority, and I certainly bring my own lived experience to that. So.
Yeah, and that's why you're a very good advocate for all this when it comes to healthcare and everything, because you've been there, you experience it, and I just thank you, my God. If I can just give you a hug, but you're so far away. But I just thank you. Would you like to give a shout out to any of you? Oh, first of all, before we do a shout out, I just need to know what else you do besides being, in politics and everything else. What is your hobby? What do you like to do?
I don't have time for much else. I'll be completely honest with you. But I used to have a dog. His name was George Wolf,
Free, so
uh,
I can.
and he passed away about a year and a half.
That's fine.
But I love animals and pets, and so that was definitely my hobby, and I hope to, after this campaign, hopefully get an
Mhm.
my life, but um, especially for the next few months leading up to election day, this is my entire life. So, um,
Yeah. So it's November 5. Also, is when we're gonna vote for you, right? November 5.
so
And so after that, you're gonna have another baby. Because I call it my babies.
that's the goal, and he was my baby.
I know they act like they're babies, you know. Does your dogs, always with you, or
Yeah,
you?
I mean, he was a big responsibility, especially I got him when he was a senior dog.
Oh,
Big responsibility, but um yeah, it's my life uh is
pretty hectic right now, huh?
it's pretty hectic, but it's been such a positive experience. I've met so many people, hundreds and hundreds of new people across the district, and they've all been so kind. And so I'm really lucky to get that type of response. We had one election so far, the primary election in March. And so out of 6 candidates, I got in the top two. I'm the only woman in my race, the only person of color. And, I'm hoping to make history to be the first Asian American woman to represent Silicon Valley in the state assembly. I'd be
You will, you will.
so
You-
fighting very hard.
yes, you will, and I can see, and you're perfect for it. It's just you. This is you. It's written. Cal is the next California State Assembly. You got my vote. After I got your vote, and thousands out there that's watching us right now. And I just want to thank you. Would you like to give a shout out to anyone out there, your brother, your sister, your mom, or your friends?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to all of them. I'll give a shout out to all my friends, to my family, to the residents of District 26 in Santa Clara County, Cupertino, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, parts of North and West San Jose.
Mhm.
And, it was such a pleasure to be on the show with you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcoming and so kind, and for all that you do. And I hope to be back soon.
Oh, thank you also, my dear. And I can't wait to congratulate you after November 5th because I know you're going to win. I know you're going to get the job. So don't forget about me. To say hi, and we're going to come back and we're going to say, ladies and gentlemen, the California State Assembly, Miss Tara Shikrinan, right?
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be the only Sri Krishnan in the assembly for sure.
Shikrinan. So thank you so much, my dear. It's been nice meeting you. God bless you. Stay safe out there. And please come back soon. All right.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. God bless. Bye bye. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed our show today. Oh my God, since you're so nice, don't forget to vote November 5. Vote. Right. So I would like to thank you guys for tuning in with us this week. And I hope you learn a lot, and you know more about Miss Tara. She's a wonderful woman, as you can see. So if you're in California, don't forget to vote for her. All right. And if you're in the Philippines, don't worry about it. But you learn a lot. You can adapt that to your cities or your counties or other countries too, if you're somewhere in other parts of the world, whatever we talked about, you can adapt it to your county, to your cities, to your barangay, or whatever, to your province. And because what I'm doing is I'm trying to educate, not just being here in California, and whatever party you belong to, you can it just to give you an inspiration and to educate is things that's happening and something that you can pick up on, that you if you're and to volunteer and encourage you to volunteer. I mean, as you can see, our break, our commercial, what they call it, the break time that we had is about the Ita Tribe Foundation. So don't forget to click our itatribes.org and make a little donation. $1 goes a long way in the Philippines, as $1, $2, whatever you can afford. I know it's not easy. So thank you so much, PHLB radio team. Viva Las Vegas, Johan Seisen. And also thank you all of you, my online family and friends, and don't forget to spay neuter your animals, whatever it is, to control the pets population. And also tune in with us every Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe or, kind of, how do you get share. And don't forget my mom's book. It's a bit Ramsey. It's still available on Amazon.com. And again, I just want to thank you, Miss Tara. She if I pronounce it again. Oh shoot. Let me look at my glasses again. I don't want to make a mistake. Sri Krishnan. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in with us. God bless you all. Be safe. See you next Wednesday. All right. Love, peace, and joy. Bye.